Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the IRB Infrastructure Developers conference call for discussing the financial results for the quarter and year ended March 31st, 2024, along with the recent development. We have with us on the call today Mr. Virendra Maishekar, Mr. Sudhir Hoshing, Mr. S.S. Rana, Mr. Anil Yadav, Mr. Mehul Patel, Ms. Poonam Nishad, and Mr. Tushar Kevadia. As a reminder, all participants' line will be in the listen-only mode, and after the opening remarks by the management, there will be a question and answer session. Anyone who wishes, please note that the duration of the call would be 45 minutes, and any queries left unanswered after the call can be subsequently mailed to the management for adequate response and resolution. Please note that this conference is being recorded.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I welcome all the investors and analysts to our earnings call for Q4 result of the financial year 2023-24. Hope you all have gone through our detailed number as well as the presentation. I will briefly cover key highlights for the quarter. We have, as always, endeavored to ensure the business stability by strengthening our liquidity position. IRB has successfully completed issuance and allotment of $540 million, 7.1% senior secured notes having a final maturity in FY2023-24. This issue was oversubscribed by 4.25 times, and proceeds for this issuance was utilized towards the refinancing of the existing indebtedness. Being the issuer, IRB was rated as BA2 and BB plus by the reputed international rating agency, that is Moody and Fitch respectively. We have received an encouraging response with the participation seen from marquee investors like PIMCO, Capital, Clifford, Wellington, Lombard, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, MFS, and Alliance Bernstein, and etc. The notes are listed on the India International Exchange Limited. IRB has recently received ISO 9001 for Quality Management System, ISO 14001 for Environment Management System, ISO 45001 for the Operational Health Safety Management System. And for Information Security Management, we have received 27001 certification from ISO QAR United Kingdom. This is a significant achievement for any infrastructure company. IRB Trust has raised 2,253 crore rupees contributed by both the partners, that is IRB and GIC, in the ratio of 51-49 respectively. Further, the Meerut-Badayu Expressway Limited, that is Ganga Expressway Project SPV, associate of the company, has issued NCD aggregating to rupees 520 crores and was subscribed by the company and GIC in the ratio of 51-49 as part of sponsors' contribution. The project has completed over 50% of construction and is now eligible to transfer to the private InvIT subject to necessary approval. IRB has made upfront payment aggregating to 6,111 crore rupees for TOT 12 and TOT 13 to NHAI. Pursuant to upfront payment, the SPV has received appointed date from April 1, 2024 from the competent authority. Accordingly, SPV has commenced the toll collection with effect from 1st April 2024. And collections are in line with our estimate. We have received ADC arbitration award on ADC Aurangabad. We have initiated the claim to NHAI for delay in the completion of the project which was disputed by NHAI and has led to arbitration. The Honorable Arbitration Tribunal has announced the order in favor of YTPL and upheld the claim of YTPL by directing NHAI to pay cash compensation of 1,681 crores. Further, the commercial benefit of the extension to the concession agreement of 651 days would also accrue to IRB. The award also clarifies that further interest will be payable from the date of award till the final realization of the claim amount by YTPL. YTPL is pursuing enforcement of the award by NHAI. Once claim is received, same will be appropriated towards the compensation, that is rupees 1,681 crores payable to IRB. Further, IRB has also received arbitration award for Ahmedabad-Vadodara project on April 9, 2024. As you are all aware that IRB has raised the claim of loss of revenue due to construction of a competing road by the state government of Gujarat running parallel to the project highway. The Honorable Tribunal in its award declared that competing road come into existence in January 2019 when 75% of the length of the competing road was completed and not in the year of 2015 and 16 as contended by IRB AV. However, due to technical reasons, no compensation was awarded on account of competing road. IRB AV is in process of taking legal opinion on the arbitration award and will further move to the High Court and seek legal remedy against the order of Honorable Tribunal. Company does not expect to have any significant impact on its financial statement due to this outcome. Now, on toll income side, Mumbai, Pune and Ahmedabad-Vadodara per day toll collection has gone up to 6.89 crores for the quarter ended March 2024 as compared to 5.9 crores per day for the same quarter last year, growth of 17%. For private InvIT, per day toll collection has gone up to rupees 8.61 crores for the quarter ended March 2024 as compared to 6.28 crores per day for quarter ended March 2023, a record growth of 37%. Increase in toll collection is on account of increase in traffic, tariff and addition of the new projects. IRB Trust has declared aggregated maiden distribution of rupees 470 crores for FY2024 and 51% of the same will accrue to the IRB. IRB has declared interim dividend of 10% face value rupees 1 amounting to rupees 60.3 crores for Q4 of FY24, thus taking cumulative dividend to rupees 181 crores for the year. The total order book for the company stands now almost 35,000 crores. Within this, the EPC order book is 5,700 crores. Next 2 years executable order book, including EPC and O&M, is close to 8,000 crores, thus providing a good construction visibility for next 2 years. We have a cash on books close to 2,700 crores, and our future equity requirement is very minimal for the project which we have on hand. This provides us enough scope to bid for the upcoming projects, which according to NHAI estimate amounts to more than 2 trillion, that is 53 BOT projects. Further, there is a pipeline of 33 TOT projects as well. Now, with respect to the recent guidelines of RBI and its impact, Reserve Bank of India has recently proposed to the lenders that they set aside higher provision for under construction infrastructure projects. Banks are already charging 8 to 10% higher interest cost for the under construction project for construction risk. Typically, the rate charged by banks is 60 to 100 basis point higher as compared to fully operational projects. RBI proposed guidelines has also mentioned only 5% provisioning for under construction projects. Therefore, we don't expect any further additional impact that will accrue to us on this count. Now I will request Tushar to cover the financial highlights for Q4 FY24. Over to you, Tushar.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good evening, all. I'll just take you through the financial analysis for Q4 FY24 versus Q4 FY23. The total consolidated income for Q4 FY24 has increased to rupees 2,504 crores from rupees 1,699 crores, an increase of 47%. The consolidated toll revenues for Q4 FY24 have increased to rupees 640 crores from rupees 547 crores, increase of 17%. The consolidated construction revenue for Q4 FY24 have increased to 1,864 crores from rupees 1,151 crores, an increase of 62%. EBITDA for Q4 FY24 increased to rupees 1,333 crores from rupees 838 crores, an increase of 59%. Interest cost has increased to rupees 615 crores in Q4 FY24 from rupees 373 crores, an increase of 65%. The depreciation has increased to rupees 274 crores in Q4 FY24 from rupees 222 crores, up by 23%. PBT has increased to rupees 444 crores in Q4 FY24 from rupees 242 crores, an increase of 83%. PAT after share of JV of loss 135 crores has increased to rupees 189 crores from rupees 130 crores, an increase of 45%. Cash profit has increased to rupees 598 crores from rupees 389 crores, an increase of 54%. Now I request moderator to open the session for question and answers.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask question. The first question is from the line of Alok Diora from Motilal Oswal. Please go ahead.
Hello, good evening everyone. Just a couple of questions. First on the ordering pipeline, because now we have started the new financial year. So, is there any indications of any bids being opened now, or practically we'll see it from November, December onwards only? That's the first question.
Good evening, Alok. Myself this side. So, as you know, the pipeline of BOT projects totaling to almost 2 lakh crores and almost 35 TOT projects are now already displayed on NHAI website, which to my understanding are presently being on hold because of the model code of conduct. So my sense is that somewhere by middle of June, the bidding process should start in full earnest. And if we look at our market share that has been in the sector, particularly pertaining to BOT and TOT, we have had a 30% plus market share in the past. And even if I moderate that, given the larger size of bidding on these particular 2 platforms, even if I make it half of what it was earlier, we should have a considerable order win possibilities coming our way in the upcoming year, which can easily go up to anywhere around 20,000-25,000 crores. So that's the visibility we are very excited and looking forward to start in full earnest. And I think we are well capitalized to undertake these projects as well, given the financial positions and the ratios where we stand.
Sure. And just some color on this interest expenses or the financial expenses, which has increased. There was a component of the kind of a one-time expense also in that. So how do we see this expense moving now, the interest expense?
I think, Alok, this time the finance expenses on the construction side include close to 239 to 240 crores of one-time expense. If you net out that should be the normal kind of run rate which we should look for future quarters.
Got it. And similarly for this share of profit loss in JV and associated, there again, it's been a pretty volatile number quarter by quarter. So if you could just elaborate how things have shaped up here and what could be expected going forward.
I think fair valuation gain or loss is last quarter we received the arbitration award on ADC Aurangabad. Accordingly, the fair valuation amount needs to be adjusted based on that particular order. But on going forward also, the fair valuation gain or loss should remain in range of 40 to 45 crores per quarter. Typically, why there is fair valuation gain or loss? Because as we are moving closer to receipt date of the claim, automatically there will be a fair valuation gain in IRB and fair valuation loss in the private element.
Got it. So this number would look like how much in FY25?
I think close to 150 to 160 crore rupees.
Got it. But just one last question. Now, what's the pipeline as far as this TOT projects are concerned?
I think as boss explained, I think almost 35 TOT projects are in pipeline. So I think that is also should take close to 1 trillion worth of opportunity. And in fact, in our presentation, slide number 25 or 26, we have already updated the list of pipeline which is available on the website of the NHAI.
Got it. Yeah, okay. I found it. Thank you. That's all from my side and all the best.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants that you may press star and 1 to ask questions. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask questions. The next question is from the line of Prem Khurana from Anand Rathi. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thank you for taking my questions. So just, to begin with, somewhat bookkeeping sort of question. So I think you said this quarter there is almost on 240 odd crore rupees of additional finance cost in our numbers. I'm not sure, if I heard the nature of this additional number that you have one-off number. Is it because, we made repayment of that earlier debentures and would the entire amount be because of that or is there any other component as well?
Yes. You are correct, Prem. It's relating to the early redemption of earlier debenture.
Okay. And even with this sort of 240 odd crore rupees of additional number, the new money that you've raised, you would still be somewhat better off, right? The cost, the kind of coupon rate that you've been able to manage, right? Or is it only because, you want to improve your maturity profile that you've done this?
I think both on the coupon side also and the maturity profile also. So if you are now the average maturity is close to 7.25 years.
Okay. And so on this Ahmedabad, the arbitration ruling that we've had, we were supposed to make some premium payments there earlier, but then these were put on hold because we were waiting for this outcome. So now with this outcome in place, does it mean the SPV would have to start making those payments, or you would still be able to kind of defer it till the time there is final? Because I'm sure you would want to challenge this in the court of law again. So how does it work? I mean, would you be required to start making those payments now, or you would still be able to defer it?
Yeah, Prem, if we, our understanding of reading the arbitration award, it's made very clear that the same is to be paid as per the premium deferment scheme. And as you know, the premium deferment scheme practically talks about balancing the cash flow mismatches. So it will clearly be dependent on the availability of the cash from the project resources itself. So we were looking forward for reversal of the expense provision that we had. That probably would not happen at this juncture because of the arbitration tribunal not quantifying the claim amount that should accrue to us, assuming that the competing road came into existence in 2019 as against our view of it being in place since 2015. But other than that, we don't see any other negative outcome from this.
Sure. And sir, on this opportunity pipeline that you spoke about, 2 trillion worth of BOT tolls and then TOT is worth around 1 trillion odd. What sort of competition do you envisage for these sort of projects? Because why I ask this is essentially, especially on BOT side, for the last couple of years now, we've not had much from NHAI. So does it mean, some of these people who initially were interested in hybrid annuities could also come and look at this opportunity, and you could have more than 5, 6, 7 players come and compete for these projects, and especially on BOT tolls. At TOTs, I understand. Since the EPC part is on a lower side, except for the O&M, you could still manage it well. But then how about the BOT tolls?
So you're right. We definitely want more players to come into this, but while I am hoping for that, I'm not sure how many of them would have the kind of the balance sheet wherewithal to get into this particular aspect. But yes, at least 3 to 4 domestic players and 2 to 3 international players is what we expect. And given the size of the opportunity, I think this is the bare minimum number of players that one would want to be there, so that even government feels reassured that private sector is there to do the heavy lifting this time around. So I certainly feel that the number is just enough adequate to do the heavy lifting that the government is looking forward to. I don't see any aggressive competition or any what we can say very difficult competition coming our way in this particular area, because like what we see in EPC or HAM. And I think all sensible players who understand the risks involved with such long-term projects will only make a beeline for this project. And I think that is very good from the sectoral perspective, because you would not have any adventurous players messing up the space and creating problems for the government in future.
Sure. And sir, on the EPC revenue side, our existing order backlog would be able to give us 4,000 crore rupees on an annual basis, 8,000 over the next 2 years. But then, this would mean there's hardly any growth. So I'm assuming, you would get to have some numbers come to you from the new projects that you win over the next 2 years. Given the fact that these would again come to contribute. Given this situation, what sort of growth should we work with in our estimates on EPC side?
So I'll quickly reiterate what I said in the beginning, and then on the future growth prospects, Anil and Tushar can add. So as I said, if you look at our past track record on a somewhat lower offtake on BOT projects, that was the trend earlier, we had a market share of almost 35% odd. Now, with the increased pipeline, we don't foresee, or we don't want to say that we'll be able to retain that same kind of a share. But even if one goes by even 50% of that, I think 20,000-25,000 crores worth of projects coming up IRB way, I don't think is a very difficult target to achieve in the coming year. And as you yourself said, there will be more of these projects than the HAM and EPC. certainly the bidding is likely to commence in right earnest by, say, somewhere by middle of June or end of June. And I think that will provide more than good enough visibility for the order book that will get built up by end of second quarter.
Sure. And any revenue growth target in mind on the EPC side? This year we did almost around 5,000 odd crore rupees plus. What sort of number would you be happy with? I mean, let's say in FY25 and 26 in terms of growth.
I think FY25 probably 15% kind of growth for FY25, and a similar kind of growth one can assume for FY26. But as sir has explained that we are eyeing for approximately 20,000 worth of project. So probably depending upon when we back the project, probably FY26 growth will be much higher. But as of now, on a conservative side, we are guiding close to 15% growth on the EPC side.
Sure. And sir, just one last question from my side. Would you be able to share the gross debt number, please?
Yeah.
Yes, Tushar will share.
Yeah.
And before Tushar shares the gross number, I will just would like to highlight you the one-time impact, because you have asked in your first question, what is the one-time impact? So the fair valuation gain is close to 326. That is forming part of other income of IRB.
Sure.
And finance expense is around 239 crores. So the net impact of one time on the P&L side, that is the income side, net impact is around 87 crores. Out of that, 22 crores is tax. So then net impact comes to 65 crores. And because of the fair valuation gain is in the IRB, that fair valuation gain is in the loss is in the private InvIT also. So post-tax, that impact is close to 120 crores. So I think if you take the 65 was the income and 120 crores is the expense. So because of the fair valuation loss, with losses increasing in the private InvIT, that is the 51%. So
sure.
then the profit is lower by 55 crores. If the one-time income or expenditure would not have been there, the profit would have been increased by 55 crores. From 188 crores to 244 odd crores would have been the profit.
Yeah. Yeah, and your question on gross debt. So gross debt on a consolidated basis is close to 14,700 crores, out of which for the asset side, SPV side, it is close to 8,600 crores.
Okay, 8,600. Sure. Thank you, and all the very best for future.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Parikshit K from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hi. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, Parikshit, go ahead.
My first question is on the bid pipeline. So this 3 trillion, how much of this do you think will get awarded in FY25?
So I think, Parikshit, what NHAI is talking about, whatever the list they have already come out, they are talking about to be awarded over the period of 12 to 15 months. Even if we assume that this gets awarded over the period of 18 months, there is enough pipeline what they have already come out and which is there on their website. So that is 2 trillion worth of BOT project and 33 TOT projects. Even if you assume 3,000 crores for a TOT, that will also translate almost 1 trillion of TOT opportunity.
Okay. So, and in this we are looking for a 15% share. Sir pointed out around 20 to 25,000 crores of share for us, right?
For BOT, yes.
And beyond this, are you going to bid for any HAM project? If there is a HAM pipeline, what would be the HAM pipeline here in this?
I think we will clearly like to stay clear of the HAM story, given the abundant number of BOT and TOTs are coming up in near future.
Okay. The second question is on, so what do you think could be the reforms which can happen in the ministry or any sense you are getting? Because what we are hearing that the WPI may change to producer price in the IRB plan. So any sense on how will the inflation mechanism change, given that WPI has been very muted for this month, so which may impact our toll revenue. So how do you see any sense, any thoughts on what potentially reforms can happen?
Parikshit, can you come closer to the phone? We were not able to get your question. Can you repeat?
So I was saying there is a talk of that and the ministry moving to producer price index methodology of calculating inflation versus WPI. So I was just referring to what kind of reforms are you hearing can happen in the NHI program in the coming years? Any sense on that will be helpful.
So I think if you refer our presentation, we have given a slide on whatever new changes the MCA is likely to see, which are in public domain. We have listed them in slide number 25. Other than that, on this particular WP, I think we have not heard from them anything. So in case as far as the existing projects are concerned, they will continue to be governed by the existing tariff policy, which is 3% plus 40% of the WPI. And in case if there are any changes, we will definitely let you know. But whatever new modifications they are discussing about the new concession agreement, we have enlisted them on the slide number 25 for your ready reference.
But I mean, you have the largest portfolio of BOT toll assets. So do you think these changes, one or two top things what would you like to highlight these changes would have done to make these projects more bankable? So from both financing side and from the developer side, what according to you are the major changes in these? Meaningful changes, material changes.
So from a bankability perspective, one of the key changes they have been discussing is in case of a concessionary event of default, still 90% of the debt due will be guaranteed by NHAI. I think this was one of the contentious issue between the lenders and NHAI because NHAI has been holding a position that if the concessionaire fails during construction, why should they compensate? Whereas the lenders were saying that because you guys pre-qualified the guy and gave him the work, if he fails, you should compensate the debt that is outstanding at that point in time. And probably NHAI is keen to accommodate the lender request here. That is one of the key things to my mind. And in terms of selling down the project post-completion, now they have reduced the period to 1 year. So asset rotation becomes faster from a developer's perspective. I think these are one of the two key things.
Unexpired concession.
And paying for the unexpired concession period related clarity also they have got in. So I think if you look at the slide 25, you will see a host of things what they have talked of, which we have enlisted in that particular slide.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Those were my questions. I wish you the best.
Thank you, Parikshit.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask questions. A reminder to all participants that you may press star and 1 to ask questions.
I think if there is no more questions, we can conclude the call.
Okay, sir. As there are no further questions, I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anil Yadav for closing comments.
I would like to thank all investors for participating on this call. We look forward to you to participate for the next conference call as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today. We thank you for your participation and for using Research Bytes conferencing service. You may disconnect your line. Thank you and have a great evening ahead.